You're most welcome to this English class, and here you see on the screen this is the picture of a famous person, and you have already heard the name of that person because name is written there. Okay, so this man is a very famous writer in English, famous writer, and of course his name is Mark Twain. And Mark Twain is a famous writer, and he has written so many books, and so many books he has written. So many big books means actually he has told us so many things, right? And among all of his sayings, so this saying is very interesting and important to me, আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে, and especially of course whenever I will show you something, then there must have some reason why I am showing it, because this is a class, this is a formal class. So look at the sentence and you just read it. The two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. সো আমাদের জীবনে দুইটা দিন হচ্ছে সবচেয়ে গুরুত্বপূর্ণ। একটা হচ্ছে যে আমরা যখন জন্মগ্রহণ করেছি, এন্ড আরেকটা হচ্ছে যে আমরা কোনো কিছুর কারণ যেদিন জানতে চাই, কোনো কিছুর কারণ জানতে পারি, সেই দিনটা হচ্ছে যে আমাদের জন্য গুরুত্বপূর্ণ। তার মানে আমাদের জন্মগ্রহণ তো করেছি, এটা নিয়ে আর আমাদের কোনো সেইং নাই, সো সেখানে আমরা চেঞ্জ করতে পারবো না কিছু। বাট the most important second part of this saying is that why. You have to know the reason why I am doing so, why I am doing this, why I am learning it, why this happens, why this doesn't happen, right? So you have to know always the reason of why. Okay, reason of why something happens. So in that case, so আমি কেন এইটা দিলাম সেটা হচ্ছে যে what is the relationship with my lesson is that in English grammar, if you want to do better in English language or English grammar, then you have to remain in your mind that you always have to ask the question why this happens. Suppose I said okay, he is a good student, and you see good is an adjective, so ask me or yourself why good is an adjective. Okay, why isn't it a noun, why isn't it a pronoun, okay, or why isn't it an adverb? So ask yourself, and you always find out the reason of that. If you can do that, certainly you will learn something. Start our lesson, right? So of course this is a very picture of you, this is the portrait of our students, right? Usually whenever you are given a task or you are told to study or read anything, perhaps you will do in that way. You just keep your book on your head, you don't take the book inside your head. Okay, usually we do that. We love to carry the bag, but we don't love to go inside the bag or find out what is there. Okay, so and this is the same portrait of you, and okay, let's see. And the boy is indifferent to studies. The boy is indifferent to studies. Okay, here look at the sentence, and the sentence according to this picture, the boy is indifferent to studies. So this is a sentence, and this sentence is called an affirmative sentence because there is no indication of negation, or that means এই সেন্টেন্স মধ্যে কোনো not, never বা nothing এই ধরনের কোনো শব্দ নেই। দ্যাটস ওয়াই এটা হচ্ছে যে একটা affirmative sentence. So of course I will just tell you one thing, that you will have to write down the negative sentence of it. Okay, তাহলে indifferent to মানে হচ্ছে যে উদাসীন, that means inattentive to. আসলে সেন্টেন্সটা হচ্ছে the boy is inattentive to studies, but in place of inattentive to I have used the another phrase that is indifferent to, meaning is same. So indifferent to মানে উদাসীন, that means the boy is not attentive to studies. Okay, so we have to make it negative. If we want to make it negative, the your answer দ্বারা লিখেছো Nuran, but somehow your answer is correct, right? The boy is not attentive to studies. This is a negative sentence. And if I just give you another sentence like that, so he loves playing. So okay, please now write down the answer. This is an affirmative sentence, and you have to make it negative sentence. So you please write down the negative statement, he loves playing. Probably you are writing the answer, that is he doesn't hate or dislike playing. So of course তোমাদের আমিও এই উত্তরই হয়তো তোমাদেরকে শেখাতাম বা তোমাদেরকে হয়তো লেখাতাম as you in your prescribed book, আসলে এমনটি রয়েছে, you see love and he doesn't hate playing, so we are using just totally opposite word. যেমন তোমরা রেজা স্যারকে পছন্দ করো না, তার মানে ইউ ক্যানট হেট রেজা স্যার, রাইট? সো ইউ এটা হতে পারে যে আমরা জাস্ট উই ক্যানট লাভ সামওয়ান, কাউকে আমরা পছন্দ করি না, সো ইন দ্যাট কেস তাকে আমরা ঘৃণা করি, সেটা কিন্তু নয়। সো লাভের অপোজিট ওয়ার্ড আসলে ঘৃণা করা। হ্যাঁ, এমনিতে আসলে বাস্তবে আমরা দেখি যে অপোজিট ওয়ার্ড, কিন্তু আসলে সেটা ডিরেক্ট ট্রান্সফরমেশনে সেটা অপোজিট ওয়ার্ড দিলে আমরা একটা অর্থের পরিবর্তন হয়ে যায়। ইন দ্যাট কেস আমরা আসলে হেট কথাটা ব্যবহার করব না। যারা হেট লিখেছো আপাতত তাদেরকে আমি নিচ্ছি আনসারটা, কিন্তু এরপর থেকে আর নিব না। এই আনসারটা আমরা নতুন করে শিখবো, রাইট? We'll learn the answer in a new way, because the answer will be that he is not without love for playing. So this is the best answer. He is not he is not without love for playing. So you will write down after this and from after the class you will just write down the answer in that way. Okay, you must not write down he doesn't hate playing. You will write down he is not without love for playing. So how is it? If I give one more example, I love my father. So if you want to make it negative, I love my father, so you will say I am not without love for my mother. My mother loves cooking, so in that case you will make it negative. My mother is not without love for cooking. Okay, you please write down the answer in that way, and if there is any word love and you have to make it negative, so in that case you will use is not without. Okay, and this is the best answer, because we do not usually ডিরেক্টলি আমি বলছি না লাভের অপোজিট ওয়ার্ড হেট বা লাইক ডিসলাইক হয় না, সেটা না, কিন্তু ট্রান্সফরমেশনের ক্ষেত্রে ইট ইজ কমপ্লিটলি অপোজিট হয়ে যায়। আমরা লাইক যেমন ডিসলাইক দিতে পারি, কিন্তু লাভটা হেট। আমি লাইক পছন্দ করি, আর ডিসলাইক মানে অপছন্দ করি, আর ডিসলাইক আর হেট আমি যদি বলি তাকে ঘৃণা করি, আমি পছন্দ করি না, এটা একটা ভিন্ন জিনিস, কিন্তু তাকে আমি ঘৃণা করি, এটা সম্পূর্ণ একটা ফার ডিস্টেন্স হয়ে যাচ্ছে। সে লাভ আর হেটের মাঝখানে অনেক ডিস্টেন্স। ওকে, সাপোজ লাইক অর লাভ, তারপরে ডিসলাইক, তারপর হচ্ছে হেট, সো একদম ফার ডিস্টেন্স। সো আমরা এই ধরনের এত ডিরেক্ট অপোজিট ওয়ার্ড সাধারণত ব্যবহার করাটা আমাদের যুক্তিসঙ্গত হবে না। হ্যাঁ, সো এই জন্য তোমরা একটা নতুন নিয়ম শিখে নিলে যে if there is any word love in this sentence, so in that case we will use is not without. So I have given you two examples. After that I am giving another one. That means I love BF Shine College Dhaka. So in that case I am not without love for BF Shine College Dhaka. Okay, perhaps you have understood that, and we will write the answer in that way after that. So writing one sentence into another without changing the meaning, and that is called what? Right, that is called transformation of sentence. And today our topic is transformation of sentence. I will go for some of the rules very fast, and you will just listen to it. You need not to write down, and if you want to write it down later on, you'll go through the class and then you will just write it. Okay, hatred, hatred, hatred অথবা hate is also noun. So hatred আর hate এর মধ্যে একটু ডিফারেন্স রয়েছে। hate মানে হচ্ছে যে আসলে জেনারেলাইজ, যে আমরা উই হেট দ্য করোনা ভাইরাস। সো এটা যখন একটা সামগ্রিক ঘৃণা বুঝি তখন আসলে হেট বসায়। আর হেট্রেডটা হচ্ছে যে যখন কোনো স্পেসিফিক পারসন, প্লেস অর থিং, তখন আমরা হেট্রেড বসাই, রাইট? So in that case you can write down I hate him, so I am not without hatred for him. Okay, perhaps you can understand now. And then you see there, if there is any affirmative sentence, and in your affirmative sentence if there is only or alone, just to make it negative you will have to use nothing but if it refers to person. Okay, for example I will say only Allah can help us, so in that case we will just simply write down none but Allah can help us. It's very easy. And if there is only in your sentence, and after only if there is a thing, then in that case you will use nothing but. That's very easy. And if there is you see after only you find any number, is, or like that, so in that case you will use not more than or not less than. And this is the simplest examples. And must is a model auxiliary verb, and in that case you will use cannot but plus v1 or cannot help plus verb plus ing. Okay, if I give one example, he must go to school, or he must know the rules of grammar. So in that case, he will write down he cannot but know the rules of grammar, or he cannot help knowing the rules of grammar. And it's very easy, perhaps. And if there is any every plus noun, so in that case you have to use there is no plus dot dot plus but. For example, every mother loves her child, so in that case there is no mother but loves her child. Okay, perhaps you can understand, and you can make negative sentence by using all of the clues that I have given you, or the rules. Okay, next we'll go for the next one. You see, if there is to adjective to, so in that case we will use so adjective that, and after so adjective that we will have to use cannot or could not. And in that case be careful about the use of cannot or could not, because cannot will be used if the verb is in the present tense, and could not will be used if the verb is in the past tense. For example, if I say he is too weak to walk, so in that case you will have to write down he is so weak that he cannot walk. Perhaps you can understand. And then we will go for another rule. If there is a both and in the affirmative sentence, so we have to use not only dot but also to make it negative. For example, he is both a poet and a philosopher, so in that case you will have to make it negative by using not only and but also, like he is not only a poet but also a philosopher. And then the next rule is as soon as, and no sooner had subject এবং then বসাতে হবে. So in that case as soon as থাকলে, যেমন as soon as the rain started we stopped the class. Okay, so the answer is that no sooner had the rain started then we stopped the class. Okay, so in that case you understand, be careful about the use of no sooner had, because whenever you will use no sooner had, after no sooner had you will have to use another conjunction, that is then, right? So then is very important. And then if there is no always, the word always, then you have to use never plus opposite word. And if there is as, and in that case you will use not less in place of the first as, and then in place of second as. He is as intelligent as his brother, so you will write down he is not less intelligent than his brother. So this rule is not so much preferable, indeed, or not encouraged much. এই রুলসটাকে কিন্তু খুব বেশি এনকারেজ করা হয় না, ঠিক আছে? And okay, next you see, if there is your sentence is in the superlative degree, just to make it negative you will have to use no other. For example, he is the best boy in the class, so if you want to make it negative, so in that case you will use no other boy in the class is as good or so good as he. Perhaps you can understand. And then we are going for some of the rules here. You see, if there is your statements in the universal truth, so in that case you will use negative interrogative, but be careful about this rule, because if you directly find out any opposite word of the adjective used in your sentence in the universal truth, in that case you will have to use the opposite word, like man is mortal if I say. So if you want to make it negative, then your answer will be man is not immortal. Okay, but if I say health is wealth, so in that case you cannot get the direct opposite word of health, so in that case you will have to make it interrogative by negative interrogative. How isn't health wealth? And sometimes or often থাকলে not always হবে, so in that case if I see he is sometimes late, so he is not always punctual. So many থাকলে not a few, and if few থাকলে not many, and much থাকলে not little, and little থাকলে not much. Perhaps you understand. One example I would say, there is little water in the glass, so in that case you can write down there is not much water in the glass. Okay, so he has many friends, that means he has not a few friends. So in that way you can make it negative. Assertive sentence into interrogative, then we will use the first rule is that if your statement is in the affirmative sentence, so in that case if you want to make it interrogative, then you have to make it negative interrogative. For example, he goes to school, so if you want to make it negative, so interrogative, then you have to use doesn't he go to school. And he learned English well, so in that case you will have to use didn't he learn English well. So after does and did, you will have to use the present form of the verb. Be careful about that. And then if your statement is in the negative, so in that case you will just have to make the opposite, that means affirmative interrogative. So one example is that he is not fasting. So in that case you can just write down is he fasting. Okay. And next, if there is a never and ever, this rule is very important, never and ever. If there is never and ever in your sentence, in the affirmative sentence or assertive sentence, if you want to make it integrated, then you will have to use ever or anything, right? Even I have never gone to India, so in that case you can just write down have I ever gone to India, and you in place of never we have used ever. Okay, and just simply using the auxiliary verb. And this is a very important rules. If there is any everybody, everyone or all, so in that case you will use who, and of course you have to use the negative verb after that, and there you must not forget to use a question mark after that. For example, everybody loves an honest man, so how can we make it negative integrative? Everybody loves an honest man, so we'll use who in place of every. So who and loves a negative key, does not love or doesn't love, so who doesn't love an honest man. Okay, so in place of everybody, everyone, all, so in that case আমরা আসলে who এর পরে ভার্ব থেকে নেগেটিভ করতে হবে। এখন তুমি হয়তো এখানে রুলসে লেখা আছে do not, does not অথবা did not বসাতে হবে, not always। তোমরা জানো যে there are 12 tenses together. in 12 tenses আমাদের কিন্তু 12টা টেন্সের মধ্যে 10টা টেন্সের মধ্যে অক্সিলারি ভার্ব আছে। So if you want to make any of those 10 tenses into interrogative, তাহলে সিম্পলি অক্সিলারি ভার্বটাকে কান ধরে সাবজেক্টের আগে নিয়ে আসবা, তাহলে কিন্তু ইন্টারোগেটিভ হয়ে যাবে। If there is every plus noun, so in that case is there any বসাতে হবে। For example, every man is afraid of death, so in that case is there any man who is not afraid of death? Okay, or is there there you will have to use the question mark. And the easiest rule in the world that I always say, if there is nobody, no one and none, in place of nobody, no one and none, you will have to use who. And for example, who nobody believes a liar, so in that case we can just simply using who make it we can make it integrated. Here if nobody believes a liar, that means who believes a liar. So is there any থাকলে there is no থাকলে is there any, there is no use of this law, so is there any use of this law, right? It is no use থাকলে why plus verb plus ing, or what is the use of, it is no use to go out now, so in that case you can why going out now, or you can also write if there is there any use going out, use of going out now. And it doesn't matter what though. For example, I will say it doesn't matter if you come or not, so in that case just to make it integrative you will use what though if you come or not. Okay, make exclamatory sentences to assertive ones, and just simply this is the easiest part of your transformation of sentence. And after you will use it a matter of joy, and alas it is a matter of sorrow, and fi it is a matter of shame that, and if there is if, who, had, or would that, then you will have to use I wish. For example, if I were a bird, so you can just make it assertive by using I wish I were a bird. Okay, and what in place of what you will use are very or are great. For example, what a nice flower it is, so it is a very nice flower. Or if there is how beautiful the flower is, so in that case you will write down the flower is very beautiful. Perhaps you have understood, you have gone through all of these rules. Okay, now your exercise is there, and now you have to solve these exercises so fast as you can. I want to see, but of course ধরে নাও যে আমরা আজকে একটা ক্লাসে আমরা এখানে 10টা এক্সারসাইজ দিব, এই 10টা এক্সারসাইজই শিখবো, আমাদের অনেক কিছু শেখার প্রয়োজন। আজকে আমার কাছে প্রমিস করবে যে আজকে ক্লাস শেষ হওয়ার পরে যে তোমার এই 10টা এক্সারসাইজ থেকে তোমাকে যে কোনোটা, যদি যে কোনো জায়গায় তোমাকে আমি জিজ্ঞেস করি, then you will be able to give me that answer, the correct answer. So এই 10টা হচ্ছে আমাদের টার্গেট। So start writing the answer please. Okay, so I have seen most of your answers, so and almost 95% answers were correct. So I'm giving you the answer and you will see, and I will explain this answer why your answer was correct or not. So you look at this sentence here. I just look at and be very careful about the explanation here. আচ্ছা, anger is nothing but a vice. So I will just look at this sentence and I will see okay, nothing, there is the word nothing রয়েছে। so আমরা একটু আগে we have learned this rule, nothing থাকলে আমাদের কি হবে, anything হবে, and এটাকে আমাদের কি করতে হবে, ইন্টিগ্রেটিভ করতে হবে। ঠিক আছে, তাহলে ইন্টিগ্রেটিভ করার জন্য আমরা অক্সিলারি ভার্বটা সাবজেক্টের আগে আনতে হবে। তো নিয়ে আসি আমি অক্সিলারি ভার্ব সাবজেক্টের আগে, ইজটাকে আগে নিয়ে আসি, অ্যাঙ্গারটা ছোট হাতে লিখি, আর নাথিং এর জায়গায় আমি এনিথিং বসিয়ে দিই, তারপরে ভার্ব বসিয়ে ভাইস বসিয়ে একটা কোয়েশ্চেন মার্ক বসিয়ে দিই। So the answer will be, is anger anything but a vice? And there you will have to use a question mark and your answer is there. It begets only the worst, and you see there is the word only, and after only at the very first rule is only ব্যক্তি থাকলে none but, আর যদি বস্তু থাকে তাহলে nothing but বসে। তাহলে only পরে এখানে the worst যেটা হচ্ছে thing, তাহলে we will use nothing but, so it begets nothing but the worst, and your answer is correct. We should control it for our own sake, and you have to make it passive, and just simply সব ভুলে যাও। মনে করো যে সব দুনিয়ার সব অ্যাক্টিভ প্যাসিভের সব নিয়ম ভুলে গেছো, কিন্তু তোমাকে একটা সফটওয়্যার বা একটা ছোট্ট একটা সূত্র শিখিয়ে দিয়েছে, সেটা তো মনে আছে যে সাবজেক্ট ভার্ব আর অবজেক্ট, এস ভি এন্ড ও, সাবজেক্ট ভার্ব অবজেক্ট, এটা যদি থাকে তাহলে অবজেক্টটাকে আগে আনতে হয়, অক্সিলারি ভার্ব ভার্বের পাস্ট পার্টিসিপল ফর্ম বসাতে হয়, রাইট? ব্যাস, শুধু ওই রুলসটুকু মনে করো এবং সেটাকে কাজে লাগাও, এখানে অ্যাপ্লাই করো। যে এখানে এসবিও কি আছে, উই হচ্ছে সাবজেক্ট, শুড কন্ট্রোল হচ্ছে যে ভার্ব, এন্ড ইট হচ্ছে অবজেক্ট। সো ইটটাকে আগে নিয়ে আসো, ইট শুড, শুডের পরে কি বসে, বি বসে, কন্ট্রোলড, বি এর পরে পাস্ট পার্টিসিপল ফর্ম, এবং যখন কন্ট্রোলড হবে তখন ডাবল এল হয়ে যাবে। সো দ্য আনসার ইজ ইট শুড বি, সো ইট শুড বি কন্ট্রোলড by us for our own sake, অথবা it should be controlled for our own sake by us. That's your answer is correct there. So we should not be emotionally imbalanced. So look at this sentence and you see there is not, and there is another word that is imbalanced. Okay, so in this very easy one, that not take to me, you will just kick it out from this sentence. And what is the answer? We should not to uthhe gelo be emotionally, and what is the opposite word of imbalanced? Just balanced. So the right answer is, so we should be emotionally balanced, and you have got the right answer. Good manners should be practiced by all of us. Here you see, good manners should be practiced by all of us. So in this sentence you see there is the absence of any agent or the doer of the subject, agent অথবা doer, মানে তোমাদের একটা বিষয় I want to make it clear that এখানে সেন্টেন্সে গুড ম্যানার সাবজেক্ট, তোমাকে যদি সাবজেক্ট আইডেন্টিফাই করতে দেওয়া হয়, you must write down good manner is subject in this sentence, but good manner is not the doer or agent of the verb. ভার্বের কিন্তু এজেন্ট না অথবা ডুয়ার না, মানে কাজটা কিন্তু গুড ম্যানার সম্পন্ন করেনি, অন্য কেউ করেছে। তাহলে অ্যাক্টিভ করার সময় আমাদের এই এজেন্ট বা ডুয়ার যে কাজ করে সে থাকে প্রথমে, আর প্যাসিভে সে পরে থাকে অথবা আন্ডারস্টুড থাকে। তাহলে এই সেন্টেন্সটা যেহেতু প্যাসিভ, তাহলে অ্যাক্টিভ করতে হলে এর ডুয়ার খুঁজে বের করতে হবে, হু ইজ দ্য এজেন্ট অর দ্য ডুয়ার ইন দিস সাবজেক্ট, in this sentence. So in this sentence agent is after by, right? So by এর পরে রয়েছে by all of us. Okay, so in this sentence the agent is all of us. So all of us take, we will make it subject. So all of us টাকে আমরা এটা অবজেক্ট হিসেবে বসাচ্ছি, all of us. Whenever you will use subject, তখন এটা we all হয়ে যাবে। কি হবে? we all. we যেমন we এর অবজেক্টিভ ফর্ম হচ্ছে যে us, এই জন্য by এর পরে অবজেক্টিভ ফর্ম বসে, এই জন্য all of us টা সামনে নিয়ে আসলে we all should, বিটা উঠে যাবে, practice good manner. Now that means practice you can use in now as a noun or also as a verb form, but originally verb form is practice. Okay, I'm going next for you, and there you see another exercises, but there is no time for you to solve now. So and this is my task. Okay, আমি ধরো যে তোমাদের গ্রুপে আছি এবং আমি তোমাদের একজন স্টুডেন্ট, you are teachers and I am a student. So now how will I solve it? Okay, I am solving it. Yes, let me solve, and your answer is there, right? And this is the solution. How did I solve it? এই প্রশ্ন তো আর কেউ পৃথিবীর কেউ এসে আমাকে সলভ করে দিয়ে যায়নি। So I solved it myself, right? So how did I solve it? A number, I just look at the sentence. Very few countries of the world are as populous as Bangladesh. So this is যখনই তোমার, you have to be careful or mindful about the software, right? So look at the software that if there is any very few the word in degree, so to make it comparative form তখন subject comparative then plus most other বসাতে হয়। তাহলে the answer হবে কি subject verb comparative then plus most other, and this is the easiest answer. That means this rule you have to know. If you don't know this rule or this software is absent in you, so সারাদিন তোমাকে পিটাইলেও তোমার কোনো উত্তর বের হবে না মাথা থেকে। অফকোর্স তোমাকে যেসব সফটওয়্যার এন্ড রুলস গুলো সেগুলো তোমাকে মুখস্থ করতে হবে, মনে রাখতে হবে, এন্ড হাউ ইউ উইল ডু দ্যাট ইজ নট মাই ম্যাটার, দ্যাট ইজ নট মাই কোয়েশ্চেন, রাইট? তোমরা যদি এটা মনে রাখো তাহলে পারবে, আর মনে না রাখলে পারবে না। ইট ইজ আপ টু ইউ হোয়াট ইউ উইল ডু। সো ভেরি ফিউ থাকলে কি হয়, আমাদের কম্পারেটিভ দেন প্লাস মোস্ট আদার বসাতে হয়, ব্যাস, ইউর আনসার উইল বি দেয়ার ইন ফ্রন্ট অফ ইউ। And then in the second answer, you see people living in the villages are farmers. So just simply make it integrative, as I have told you. Integrative korte hole affirmative statement ke negative integrative korte hobe, and that's why just to make it integrative tomake auxiliary verb samne niye jete hobe, and you have to take the not. And mone rakho je before, if you want to use not before subject, then you will have to use in contraction form. Okay, that means aren't people living in the villages farmers, and then you will have to use question mark and your answer is correct, right? And then if you go for C, the farmers work harder than any other man. Just to make it positive, very simple, after then any other, just to make it positive, you will have to use no other. So this rule you have to know, okay? You have to know this rule. So yes, no other, just simply use no other, and superlative পরের অংশ, verb as, adjective as plus subject, and your answer will be correct then. So D, and you see these farmers must be supported by all means. এই সেন্টেন্সটা, this very often students make mistake about this sentence. Very often you make mistake about this sentence, because these farmers must be supported by all means. তোমরা যে ভুলটা করো by all means, you think by all means, after by all means, or this is a doer or the agent of the verb. No, this is another phrase. By all means মানে যে করেই হোক, so এখানে agent is absent, so you have to bring an agent. এখানে কিন্তু একজন এজেন্ট নিয়ে আসতে হবে। সেই এজেন্টে কি, we must support these farmers by all means, and very easy one, right? We must support these farmers by all means, okay? And by all means is a phrase, and that will be used later on. And the last one, you see, there are only people whose dedication is great. So in that case, very simple thing, there is only, and in place of only you will have to use number, and your answer will be correct just simply after using number. Okay, if you can just keep in mind all of these rules, this software, everything will be so easy for you. So I think probably you will go through the rules first. Of course, thank you very much for attending the class and for your participation as well.